It's kind of an interesting story with Bardar. So originally we founded it and launched it with the original thesis being to create an app that you could use to quality assure real world nightlife experiences. So the problem that we were tackling was that, if you want to go to the movies or go to a restaurant or engage in all these other kind of leisure activities, traveling, you can use an app to quality assure your experience before you engage so that you avoid a bad experience and you can discover really cool ones. And that was the original thesis behind the project. And so we created this nightlife map of Sydney. We used real-time data on how busy venues were, on all the live music events, to help you basically discover the perfect nightlife experience for your preferences and to avoid negative experiences. And we launched that in April and was kind of tugging along. Like, we were pretty happy with it, continually iterating on the product. We got some good kind of early growth. So we were about we got to 1,500 users on that sort of app really quickly, and we were having about 500 to 600 monthly active users. But then kind of this really interesting opportunity presented itself where we were one of the technology partners for South by Southwest Sydney. And basically what we did for them was we built this guide in our app to their music festival. So we created a geographic boundary for the South by Festival. We created a custom styling and highlight for all their festival venues, imported their events in so that basically South by attendees could plan their experience. They could navigate around the festival area. They could avoid venues that were going to be full and not let them in. But then the other thing is, because we had this backdrop of the broader Sydney nightlife data, we could sort of direct attendees out to cool experiences in the broader nighttime economy, which satisfied kind of a key, I guess, criteria that they had from Destination New South Wales, who's one of their funders, which is that the point of the festival is to activate the nighttime economy. And so something that we learned from that, which was really interesting, is that we'd kind of built this product and we built this application that was really useful for these, or that applied really well to this specific niche of these festivals that happen in cities that occur across multiple days and multiple venues, to help attendees organize their experience, but also for the people running the festival to give them really high quality data on what their attendees were doing and help them satisfy kind of the interests of their government funders, who any kind of major event happening in a city is funded by the government. And so by helping disperse people into the nighttime economy and activate it around these festivals, we found a unique niche, basically, is what we discovered. And we think that our product market fit is stronger there. We thought that the demand from South by Southwest, and now we've just done Always Live in Victoria, and we're talking to some several more festivals. And so we did our first pivot basically away from this really B2C oriented nightlife discovery product into this more tool for festival organizers to help their attendees maximize their experience. And so it's been a really interesting process right now, because we're just kind of coming toward the tail end of this very transitory period where we figure out what our new business model is, we figure out how we're pivoting it and all that kind of stuff.
How did that come about, right? Because, I'm sure there's a lot of app software vendors trying to get their app used at events like South by Southwest. How did you do it?
For reference, I'm 21. I'm not I'd never been to South by Southwest before, but I was interested in it. I think it's a really interesting and cool festival. And so even though I didn't go the first year it was in Sydney, I was really interested in it. So I read a lot about it. And something that I remember reading about it was one from last year, that the app experience was not great and it was quite clunky. And I read a bunch of sort of user kind of feedback on the app experience. That the next thing that I read was that part of the frustration of it was people didn't know where events were on, things were too far apart. And then the third thing was that they would get to these music events and then they'd be full and they wouldn't be able to get in even though they had the badge, because it's just, how many people are in the venue. And so something that it just kind of occurred to me naturally, that what we'd built with this nightlife guide app actually just solved those problems naturally. And because we're a spatial app, so we have a map of the nightlife, so you can see where things are, you can see where you are relative to the various events and venues to know how long it's going to take you to get there. We have this capacity data that we use in our app, so see how busy it is.